Good morning, everyone. At this time, please silence all of your devices. Welcome to our June 20th, 2024 Special Magistrate hearing for the Building Division. If there's anyone who wishes to speak at today's proceedings, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm to tell the truth at today's proceedings? Thank you. You all may be seated. Our first case is an old business case on page 21. Senior Inspector Jose Saragusti. Property address 2680 Northwest 21st Court. Owner Mabel J. McCoy. This case was first heard on 4/18/24 to comply by 6/20/24. One section not complied at $500. Did I read the case number? Case number BE 2402-0077. This case was ordered to reappear.
Good morning. Jose Saragusti, Building Inspector for the city, presenting the case number as read. The case is not complied. The customer refused to comply with the order given in the hearing to allow the Fort Lauderdale Police Department and Fort Lauderdale Fire Department and building inspectors to access to the property. The city is requesting this case to come back as a MASI, and I will let the respondent to speak.
Your Honor, if I could really quickly, for the record, Ronald Montoya Hassan with the City Attorney's Office. You may recall that we had extensive testimony on this assisted living facility from police and fire, and the property owner at the time had represented under oath to Your Honor that she would allow access to the property. As the inspector has indicated, that did not occur. So in addition to the request to set it for a MASI hearing, we would request that the daily fine be increased from $500 to $1,000 a day.
Okay, this is your opportunity to speak. Please state your name.
My name is Anthony Jackson. This is my mother, Mabel McCoy. Number one, y'all classifying us as an ALS. We have never been, never tried to be, and never are an ALS. Y'all trying to inspect us as something we are not. So this is why we did not allow y'all to come into our home. So the lawyer told us we did not have to. You're trying to make us out to something we are not. And you're trying to fine us for having people in our house for no reason. We are a privately owned house. We do not take in people, and we do not dispense medicine. We do not dispense any kind of medication or take care of old people or people who are in need. All we do is rent a room to people who can afford to rent a room, and you're trying to classify us as an ALS. This is why we are not allowing y'all in our home.
Isn't this a MASI hearing?
No, this was a notice to reappear, so that's what the city is requesting, Your Honor, that no extensions be granted. There's already been a finding. We'd like the fine increased to $1,000 a day and set it for a MASI for the next hearing.
The city has the right to come and investigate. You know, you're saying that...
You can investigate, ma'am. What are you investigating? We're not an ALS.
Okay.
Y'all had 20 police people come to our house to look at it and to tell us that we're doing something illegal and we're doing nothing. The only people in our house is 5 people that live there. And you keep telling us that we're taking in people and we're making money, and we're not making no money off of nobody. So what are you trying to fine us for? What are we doing wrong? And please explain that to us. You keep telling us that we're something we're not. We're not running a hotel. We're not running an old age home. We have a group home where the only people coming in is family.
Okay. I'm going to have the city respond without you raising your voice, but the city, it's their position that this is some type of...
Your city's wrong, and nobody wants to talk to us. All y'all doing is accusing us, and y'all not proving nothing.
Okay.
Our lawyer told us that y'all have no right to do what you're trying to do.
Okay, I'm going to have the city respond. Give me 1 second.
We tried to go into the house, and the lady...
Why? Explain why.
Hold on.
Sir,
So-
please allow him to speak.
I'll take it, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, again, there's already been a finding. This gentleman was not here at the first.
Yes, I was here, ma'am. I just didn't speak.
Okay, well, then you either have a short-term memory loss or you weren't listening properly because there was significant testimony from
Ma'am,
police
yeah,
and
the
fire.
testimony-
Sir, no, you will not interrupt me. There was significant testimony, Your Honor, from police and fire, significant testimony with regard to all the calls, significant testimony with the observation from the inspectors, from the fire officers, and from police. There's already been a finding, Your Honor, and any further debate isn't really productive at this juncture because there's already been a finding. The city has other remedies that it can gain access to the property that we're pursuing at this time.
So I'm going to agree with the city. I'm going to grant their request for a daily fine of $1,000. You need to comply. You need to let them come in and do whatever they have to do so that you have to get the proper certificate of occupancy.
Ma'am,
If-
we don't need a certificate because
Okay.
we're not running a home.
They have the right to come in. If you're not going to allow them to come in, the fines are going to run. When they come in, then they'll make the determination whether or not you need that licensing. But based on the records that were provided at the last hearing, there was enough evidence to support that there is something going on that should be going on. So either you let them come in or your fines are going to start running because you have to obtain the proper licensing if that's what you're doing.
Okay, ma'am, then what are they gonna come in the house and look at? There's no people living there, so what are they
Okay.
gonna look at? We're not running,
Okay,
we're
well,
not
let
running
them make
a
that
home.
let them make that determination.
Okay, fine, when are they gonna do this?
When are you?
Next Tuesday morning. Next Tuesday morning.
Next Tuesday?
Doctor's
Yeah.
appointment that I can miss on Tuesday morning. It'll be
Well,
easy.
it has to be some other time. She has a doctor's appointment because she was paralyzed when she went to the hospital in February. It's when all of this crap started.
Which day you will be there?
Huh?
Which day?
Tuesday-
Monday?
Tuesday.
No,
Tuesday,
she
I'll
has
be
an
done.
appointment on Tuesday. She said
Okay,
y'all
will you
come
be-
either
Okay,
Wednesday
Monday.
So get-
or Monday.
How about
Monday
Monday?
morning.
Monday's fine.
Okay, so put in the order that the inspector will have access to the home on June 24th.
And we don't need 20 policemen to walk
At
into our house.
10 a.m.
Because that's what y'all did last time. And that's embarrassing.
Okay, so again, I'm going to grant the city's request for an increase of the fine to $1,000 a day, and the violator will be allowing the inspector to inspect the property on June 24th at 10 a.m.
I wonder where she think I'm gonna get $1,000 a day. Are we done?
You are done.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 10, property address 2615 Northeast 17th Street, case number BE 24010036, owner Kevin J. Taylor, Valerie Angelini. Notice posted at the property on 5/20/24, posted at 1 East Broward Boulevard, 6/6/24.
Good morning. My name is Building Inspector Andrew Gebbia for the city, presenting on behalf of Preston Mark. Case and address is read. There are expired permits related to this property as stated in today's agenda. This case is not complied. The city is requesting 42 days to comply or $50 thereafter. I'll let the respondent speak.
You got to press the button and it'll be red.
Okay. I'm Kevin Taylor, I'm the homeowner. Yeah, we got notice that I had a contractor, we did a remodel. I got notice he didn't close out the permits. I guess there's a couple inspections. I've hired others had to hire others to do this. I understand that the permit has been applied for and it'll be issued any day, any minute. And once that happens, we'll get the inspections and get this closed.
Okay, so the inspector requested 42 days to have this done. Okay, if not, there'll be a daily fine of $50. So your compliance date is August 1st, okay?
Okay,
All right, good luck to you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Our next case is on page 12, it's a hearing to impose fines, Senior Inspector Mary Rich, property address 511 San Marco Drive, owner James E. Berger, case number BE 23080424, This case was first heard on 3/21/24 to comply by 5/2/24. One section not complied at $50. The city is requesting to impose the full amount of $2,400, which continues to accrue.
Still not turned on.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Rich with the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case and address are as read. This case was originally heard on March 21st, 2024, and this is a Massey hearing, so I'll go ahead and let the respondents speak. The city is requesting that the fines be imposed at this time.
My name is James Berger. I'm the property owner.
Is your mic on?
Hello, my name is James Berger. I'm the property owner. I'm just requesting an extension of this. Unfortunately, I used a contractor that was initially told me I didn't even need permits for the driveway at all. And then after we got the initial violation, I tried pulling the permits myself, and there was errors. So the contractor that I initially contracted with said that he would take care of it. And here I am, still it was never taken care of, and the contractor's now ran away with my money. So I have a new contractor that has filed a new permit, I believe, as of yesterday. I have the full notarized copy with yesterday's date. I'm not sure if it was actually filed yesterday or not.
So how much time are you seeking for compliance?
If the permit is issued, I would guess 30 to 45 days for completion of the actual job. So
Right now, it's implied status. It hasn't been issued yet, right?
I'm not sure. As of this morning on the search, it doesn't show up.
As of yesterday, there was no permit applied for or in waiting process. The last permit was voided, so I don't know.
Do you have a copy of what you submitted yesterday, you said, or your contractor
Yeah.
submitted?
I have it on my phone or my computer.
Sure, you can show it to me, it's fine, and we can show it to the inspector. Okay.
I did speak with Mr. Berger on May 6th, and that's when he told me that he was obtaining a new contractor, but nothing I've seen since then. It's been since August 30th of 2023.
Thanks. This was submitted yesterday.
That's to Broward County. I would have to check our system. No, there's nothing listed from what the clerk is saying.
So it's different than,
The contractor, they said that they said.
You gotta go back to the mic, sorry, just so that we have it on record, please. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's no permit listed in our system yet.
oh, your mic is turned off again.
There you go. Nope.
For the record, I was told that the permit was sent with a permit runner. Not sure what a permit runner is.
It's someone you pay to get your permit approved. This,
Okay. At this time, if you want to allow an extension, it's fine, but this has been going on since like August of last year. So I understand he's having issues.
I'm going to give him additional time. Okay, so I'm going to give you 91 days, okay? So I'm going to grant additional time to comply with a new compliance date of September 19th. Do you guys need another order to reappear?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it'll be 9/19/2024 or a fine of $50 a day, okay? Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Stay of the fines
Thank
at
you.
this time?
I'm going to stay the fines, yes.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 1, Senior Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 90 Isle of Venice Drive, owner Aqua di Venice LLC, case number BE 24010140, notice posted at the property on 5/31/24. Excuse me, can everyone please lower your voice? Notice posted at the property on 1 East Broad Boulevard, 6/6/24. This is a new business case. Is there a
morning,
respondent here for 90 Isla Venice Drive?
Yeah. Good morning, Your Honor. Building Inspector Martinez representing the city. Case analysis as read. The report was submitted, but repairs are required. The city is requesting 180-day extension for the owner to complete the repairs and submit a new report of fines of $100 per day thereafter. I let the respondent speak.
Hi, good morning. Roya Edwards on behalf of the property owner and contract purchaser. That works for us. Thank you so much.
Okay, so ordered. It'll be, you said 180 days, correct?
180 days.
Okay, so it'll be December 17th or a fine of $100 a day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you so much.
Our next case is a hearing to impose fines on page 16. Senior Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 620 Tennis Club Drive, owner Tennis Club Tilden Condo, Inc., case number BE 2204-0102. This case was first heard on 9/15/22 to comply by 10/27/22. One section complied at $100. Total fines $21,700. The city is requesting to vacate order imposing fine on 10/19/23 and reimpose fines for reimpose administrative costs of $1,275.
Good morning.
Building Inspector Martinez, case analysis as read. I let the respondent to speak.
I'm sorry.
The case is complied.
Yes.
We're just requiring administration cost, requesting administration cost. I let you to speak.
Fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please state your name.
Brian Reddy.
Okay, and so you're in agreement with the city's recommendation?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so ordered. I'm going to vacate the order of October 19, 2023, and I'm going to impose the fines of administrative costs of $1,275.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our next case is on page 13. Senior Inspector Mary Rich, property address 1470 North Dixie Highway, owner Wisteria Court Condo Association, Inc., case number BE 2303-0012. This case was first heard on 8/17/23 to comply by 10/19/23. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50. The city is requesting to impose the full amount of $9,100, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Your Honor, and Senior Inspector Rich for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case and address are as read. This is also a Massey hearing, and the city is requesting that the fines be imposed at this time. The last time I spoke with a Mr. Clapperson regarding he said on May 2nd that the board was not moving forward with a fence permit. So the city requests that the fines be imposed at this time.
Dale Clapperson, property manager. So it wasn't exactly that we weren't moving forward with
Is his
the
mic
permit.
not on still?
It should be on.
Oh, it is? Okay.
So the message was not that we weren't moving forward with it. It was that we were trying to finish up the concrete restoration project. If you've seen the back parking lot, there's 8 or 10 spots that are taken up. We've only got about 40 spots back there. We've got a storage container. We've got a trash dumpster back there. So we're just finishing up the construction project now, and we are moving forward with the fencing. We should have the permit application in the next 30 days. And hopefully have it completed in the next 60 days.
Have you been in touch with the city regarding what your progress? Because you're 182 days of noncompliance. I mean, that's a lot of time.
Right. So the last time that we spoke was on May 2nd. And again, during this whole entire project, we've had, a major construction project going on, over $700,000 worth of work being done.
Okay, so how much time do you need to get in compliance at this point?
Probably 30 days for the permit and 60 days for the work to be completed.
The city requests the fines to be imposed, and they can discuss the fines later because this has been going on again since July of last year, 2023, and it's a simple fence repair permit, and they keep putting it off. As far as, I understand they're doing the concrete restoration, but they had other options.
But we couldn't bring other containers in to remove the fence material because we wouldn't have anywhere for our owners to park.
I just don't know why you didn't ask for additional time to comply prior to the time, starting and the fine starting.
So, yeah, so there's multiple, if you look back, there was code cases where they wanted us to just repair the fence. So we made those repairs, those were cleared, and then this one, I kind of just lost track of it, but we had the fence repairs completed, the code case, we completed that, and then this one kind of popped up. We got a continuance at the last hearing, and then I gave her an update on May 2nd.
The city has an objection with granting additional time?
Well, we'd ask that the fines be imposed, Your Honor, since it was first heard in August of 2023, and then once they come into compliance, they can apply for lien amnesty.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to impose the fines, but then you can ask for leniency once you're in compliance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 8. Inspector Andrew Gebbia, property address 808 Southwest 26th Street. Owner, Kyle and Tracy Hugh, maybe Huff, sorry. Case number BE 231200078. Notice posted at the property on 5/30/24, posted at 1 East Route Boulevard, 6624.
Good morning. My name is Inspector Andrew Gebbia with the city, presenting on behalf of Building Inspector Preston Mark. Case and address is read. This property was cited for violation under FBC 2020-105.1, work illegally performed without obtaining the required permits in the following manner but not limited to: complete home renovation, including windows and doors, framing, drywall, plumbing, electrical, and mechanical. This case was opened on 12/11/2023. The inspection report was mailed on 12/11/2023. Final notice was mailed on 1/22/24, and a special magistrate notice was mailed on 5/2/24. We visited the property to invest for a complaint for work being done without permits. During our investigation, we observed the home was completely gutted and workers were doing interior alterations, framing, drywall, etc. We spoke to Josh Fieldman and requested to see permits, but none were available. We documented the work to be complete home remodel, including kitchen, baths, windows, AC system, plumbing, and electrical. As a result, we issued a stop work order and posted it on the property. See photos. We had several conversations with Matt Sullivan, project manager, who is in process of getting the required permits pulled. The city is requesting the magistrate to find that the violations exist and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 a day thereafter. I'll allow the respondent to speak.
Morning. Kyle Huff. So this project kind of got away from us. It started in April with a flood, and my contractor I trusted, I didn't verify. I should have, I didn't. So I think we're pretty close to having the permits now.
Okay, so the city's seeking that you get in compliance within 63 days, or you're going to have a fine of $50 a day?
Perfect.
Okay, so your compliance date is August 22nd, okay? All right, good
Great.
luck to you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Our next case is on page 19, it's a hearing to impose fines. Senior Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 2115 Northeast 37th Drive, owner Coral Ridge Country Club Apartments, Inc. Case number BE 22090147. This case was first heard on 2/16/23 to comply by 8/15/23. Fine suspended as noted, one section complied at $100. Total fines $24,500. The city is requesting to reduce the administrative cost of $1,275.
Building Inspector Martinez representing the city, case and address as read. The case is complied. We just request an administration cost. I'll let the respondent to speak.
Hi, good morning. My name is Vanessa Dene. I'm the HOA president and owner. We had filed permits and whatnot. I think we are now completely done. Everything is to compliance, so that's fine with us.
Okay, perfect. So ordered, then you'll only have to pay the administrative cost of $1,275.
Great, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Our next case is on page 22, Senior Inspector Alexander Boris. Property address 6201 Bay Club Drive, owner Bay Colony Club Condo, Inc. Case number BE 24020159. This case was ordered to reappear. This case was first heard on 4/18/24 to comply by 6/20/24. One section not complied at $50. One section not complied at $500.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexander Labores, Building Inspector for the city, updating you on case number and address as read. This case was presented at the April 18, 2024 hearing. There are approximately 640 units in this community as part of the 20 buildings, each 2-story tall. A structural inspection of the building has been performed by engineer Carford, state license 20699. A digitally signed verified letter dated December 17, 2023, prepared by the engineer was received. The letter stated that it was observed that around 7 balconies appear to hide some deteriorated issues in the support members, and that there is obviously deterioration, and this can be fixed as indicated in the building safety inspection procedure. The letter also stated that this is not a safety issue with the balcony, but the engineer recommended that the balcony supports be replaced within the next 6 months. Basically, letter indicated that there's an expiration date and that the repair should be done before June 17, 2024. The property was cited for violation of City Ordinance 9-280C, inside and outside stairway, porches, balconies, hallways, corridors, and all appurtenances thereto shall be maintained in a safe condition and capable of supporting the loads set forth in the building code. Approximately 7 balconies have concealed deterioration to the structural steel support members as per the engineer letter. Property was also cited for violation of City Ordinance 9-280D. All parts and areas subject to deterioration shall be properly maintained and suitably protected from the elements. There is water intrusion due to deterioration of the exterior wall covering that protects the structural steel member supports that are concealed inside the balcony. At the April 18 hearing, Special Magistrate Flynn ordered 63 days to comply or $50 per day thereafter, and in order to reappear here today. Also, in order to determine if additional extension could be supported, the city also requested an updated signed and sealed letter within the 63 days prepared by the professional engineer stating if there's any imminent danger and or if balconies are capable of supporting the load set forth in the building code, and if the balconies may or may not remain occupied as intended. The requested revised letter was received. Letter is dated May 13, 2024, and it states that there are 7 balconies that needed significant repairs, and in the engineer's judgment, these balconies did create a safety issue and should be closed off until repaired. Letter also states that the property manager was informed that the 7 balconies should be closed off to all activities in the form of a letter dated May 5th, 2024. The issue we're having that the letter does not identify the units that should be closed off. There's like I mentioned earlier, 640 units at this community. I reached out and spoke to Stephen Wright, LCAN manager at the time, and we both agreed that units should be identified. As of 3 p.m. yesterday, the units had not been identified, and I was informed that Stephen Wright, LCAN, no longer works there. At this time, I will let the respondent speak to share additional information.
Wait, what is the city seeking?
We're gonna hear what she has to say. At this time, with the information that we have, we cannot support an additional extension, and we are requesting that the case come back as a massive hearing next month. We did receive an email this morning from the engineer. I have the email right here. The email has a list of the balconies. We need this to be included in the letter. And basically what the respondent is going to tell us how many balconies have been closed off. That is the main issue right now, that 7 balconies need to be closed off, and they have not been closed off, and that's why I will let the respondent speak at this time.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Your Honor.
Please state your name.
My name is Nancy Lawville. I'm the president of the Condos Association at Bay Colony Club. And since this problem was brought to our attention at our 5th year certification, they did say there were 7 balconies, but when I reviewed the pictures, there were only 4 addresses put on them, and that's the ones I concentrated on because I wasn't sure what that meant. Did it mean if it was, we're 2-story, so you have condo 1, condo 2, the doorway here, condo 3, condo 4. So if 1 had a problem, does that mean 3 has a problem too? So I didn't know if 7 meant 1 and 3 is 2 units, 2 problems, or if it's 1. But what we did is we did ask Carl Forbes to give us a scope of work. It took a little bit because he has other customers, people that he does, and when we got that, that's what we worked off, and we're using that as a skeleton for the other ones because they were all built the same in 1973. We opened up the one for him to look at, the one that looked the worst, and that's what he did the scope of work on. He said he cannot do the scope till they open up each one, and he wants to open them one by one and not leave them open while stuff
Right,
is...
but the city wants you to block them off to protect you. These are like life safety issues,
yes,
and they're alleging that you guys haven't blocked them off.
Well, we sent a letter out to the owners. A lot of them are not there now, so they did not respond. The ones that did respond, I sent a copy to them. I went around and looked at the addresses. They're already, there's nobody up there. So, and the balcony's empty on a few of them. I didn't look at all of them because I too just saw the 7 addresses. So I feel like we're in the middle because we have the structural engineer. We're waiting for those drawings and what he's requested. We have the construction guy that's putting the permits in. We have 4 that we're ready to start, the 4 that we identified on the pictures, and we're in the middle trying to comply, and we're waiting on the permits. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. And there are multiple issues here. They need a permit to complete the repairs. Repair needs to be done. The biggest concern right now is that we have 7 balconies that the engineer is saying that, I have the letter right here. I can tell you how it reads. It reads, there are 7 balconies that need a significant repair, and in my judgment, these balconies, they create a safety issue and should be closed off until repaired. The balconies are not closed off. The reason I know that is because on the conversation I had with the LCAM manager at the time, he didn't know which 7 balconies were there. The engineer was referring to a report from another case. On that report, as it's been stated, there's photographs of 4 balconies. The question is, which ones are the other 3? Yesterday when you and I spoke, we didn't know which were the other 3. So we know they haven't been closed off because they haven't been identified. What we need right now is the balconies to be identified in the letter, so there's no confusion. There's been a lot of confusion from the very beginning. In an effort to avoid confusion, we need these balconies identified for the record on a signed seal letter. Once the balconies have been closed off, we can support an extension. We will always be working with you. We will support a 6-month extension for the repairs to happen. That's our standard procedure. In the meantime, we need, for the safety of those occupants, we need to make sure that the balconies are closed off. And we need to make sure that the correct balconies are closed off.
So do you send a letter to Carl Forbes, or do I send a letter to Carl Forbes that he has to stamp a letter with the 7 balconies because that email's not good?
Carl Forbes does not work for the city. He works for the association. You need to communicate with your engineer, let him know He did send an email this morning. If any information he requests, I'll be more than happy to talk to him, as I have done it multiple times. For some reason, I mean, it feels like the emails he sends are a little bit sarcastic. I mean, his response was that the information he can provide is that the sun is going to rise this morning. I mean, so, you know, we need the balconies. He needs to identify them in a letter to avoid confusion.
Okay, so I have to get him a stamped letter from him with the 7 balconies, and then we have to send out a letter to those unit numbers, send it out again.
Not just
okay?
a letter. They need to be closed off. If I may ask, are you the LCAM manager or the property manager?
No, the LCAM.
The LCAM here?
She just started. It's
The
3
LCAM
weeks.
manager needs to get together with the engineer, okay? The balconies need to be closed off. It's not only sending a letter out, they need to be closed off. That's what the engineering instructions are. He's the professional engineer. We're going to go with his professional judgment.
Okay.
What about violation 9-280D? Are they not in compliance with that?
No, none of the violation. One of the violation is for the elements, and the other violation is for the cladding that protects the element. That's what created the problem, the water intrusion.
Okay, so are you seeking that the fine starts today and then in order to reappear in 28 days to revisit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the fines are going to start today and then in order to reappear for June 28th. I mean, July 18th, sorry. I do that all the time. Yes, July 18th.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Is there a way that they cannot start the fines till I get these letters?
The city is seeking the fines because you guys haven't done it. And I guess once you're in compliance, we can deal with mitigation. But because of the gravity of not doing it, that's what they're seeking.
But we did send letters out.
It's more than just sending letters. The engineer report does not indicate the 7 units, which they've made it very clear they needed delineated in the report, and you also didn't close them off. I think, aren't you guys seeking
They need to be closed off. That
Right.
is the main reason why we cannot support it, because
So
there's
how do I get the owners to close?
That's in your condo docs. I'm sure that there's some type of, something in your condo document that allows you to enter into these units, whether or not they're occupied for the safety of the entire building.
Okay.
So, I can't tell you how to do things legally, but I'm sure that if you, talk to your attorney, there's something in your condo docs that is going to allow you entrance into those units to protect, those balconies.
You know what, I just feel like we're in the middle because we're trying to, you're doing your due diligence, Carl's doing his due diligence, and we're trying to get it done while we're waiting for this and we're waiting for this, and my hands are tied.
Your hands are not tied, ma'am. You're
You
not
don't
in the
think
middle.
so?
No, it's your engineer, your property, your meaning the association's property. As the magistrate has said, there's remedies under the docs, which you need to speak to the lawyer about that, and you need to prod your engineer. I mean, other than the sun rising, which I agree with the inspector is a little sarcastic on his email because I was copied on it, he needs to provide those. He also needs to complete the inspection of the other balconies, which he stated in his email this morning that he hasn't completed the inspection. This case was first heard 2 months ago, so.
April, I was here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it needs to move along. It's a safety issue.
I just want you to know I am trying, okay?
Understand.
Thank you.
Just to clarify for admin purposes, are they getting an extension right now?
No.
No.
No, the fines are starting.
Correct.
With the notice to reappear.
Okay.
For July 18th.
Thank you. Our next case, the new business case on page 8, Inspector Andrew Bezia, property address 528 Riviera Drive, owner JWO Real Estate and Investment 1 LLC, case number BE 231-00172. Notice posted at the property on 5/17/24, posted at 1 East Broad Boulevard, 6624.
Good morning. My name is Building Inspector Andrew Gebbia for the city, presenting on behalf of Preston Mark. Case and address is read. There are expired permits related to this property as stated in today's agenda. This case is not complied. The city is requesting 42 days to comply or $50 a day thereafter. I'll allow the respondent to speak.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Horland. I'm an attorney from the law firm of Tripp Scott, and I'm here on behalf of Glenn Waldman, who's the court-appointed receiver of this property. We'd like no action to be taken at this time and request an extension. I just want to give you some background and then the update. Currently, the owner of the property, JWO Real Estate Investment 1 LLC, per these orders with me today, is under receivership in the jurisdiction of the 17th Judicial Circuit Court. On February 20th, 2024, the Honorable Jeffrey Levinson of the 17th Judicial Circuit appointed Attorney Glenn Waldman as receiver of Tropical Sunset 117 LLC and all of its subsidiaries. On March 13, 2024, a motion to expand the powers and authority of Glenn Waldman as receiver was granted to include 6 specific subsidiaries, one being JWO Real Estate Investment 1 LLC. Glenn Waldman has hired attorneys at Tripp Scott to represent him as receiver in this matter, which is why I'm here today. There are a lot of legal complexities. There's also, with the same individuals, there's also a massive bankruptcy case in the Southern District of Florida that the receivership is not involved, but just highlights the big picture going on.
Is a case being stayed because of the bankruptcy?
I'm not too sure on that. I'm not involved in the receivership part of things, but I just want to show the big picture. Now, the receivership only found out about the code violations in this code case on May 17th. I believe a former member of the original ownership went by the property, saw the notice, and sent a picture to the receivership, and that's when we got involved. Since May 17th, the receivership has authorized the hiring of a permit expediter, Diana, who is with me here today, and they also authorized the change in contractor. The legal process of receivership is slow-moving at times. However, action has been taken to be in compliance, which is why we are just requesting some extension.
Well, the city is seeking 42 days for compliance. How much time, maybe you want to ask your permit expediter, how much time they're going to need to get into compliance? Can you come to the microphone, please?
Hi, good morning. My name is Diana. 60 days will be enough for us.
So you're seeking, okay, so you need more than the 42 days. Okay, so the city have any objection to 63 days then? Okay, so I'm going to have a compliance date of 63 days, which will be August 22nd, or a $50 a day fine.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Our next case is on page 15, Senior Inspector Leonardo Martinez. This is a hearing to impose fines, property address 545 South Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard. Owner, Eleni Association, Inc., case number BE 2305-0099. This case was first heard on 10/19/23 to comply by 4/16/24. One section not complied at $100. The city is requesting to impose the full amount of $6,400, which continues to accrue.
Building Inspector Martinez, representing the city, case and address as read. Your Honor, in order for us to, on the building certification program, in order for us to grant an extension, a letter needs to be submitted by the design professional with a number of inactive permit on that letter. And the reason why we didn't grant this extension and we're here to impose fine is because the permit application was submitted on the 6/18, 2 days ago. That's why the city is requesting the fines to be imposed. I'm gonna let the respondent to speak.
Good morning, can you hear me? Hi, Heather Edelman on behalf of the association, the attorney under Rachel Friedman. We had a lot of issues that took us a delay. First of all, we had 4 property managers in 2 years. We've had a special assessment for roof that had to be done or we would have lost the insurance. We've pulled a lot of electrical. We actually had, this was done 8 years ago, all the concrete restoration. Unfortunately, the contractor never filed the proper paperwork, and we're aware of that, and we're not asking, for that to be, even though the work is already done. But we did file the permit this week. We have to do a special assessment meeting, which we have for early July. We have, majority of the members are over 80, and we're just trying to get them to pass this. They're very frustrated because this was already done 8 years ago, and unfortunately, the contractor that we had didn't properly file it. The special assessment's probably going to be about roughly $25,000 a unit, and there's about 50 units. So we're requesting, the permit has been filed now, we're requesting, we'll probably need 3 months after the special assessment gets passed. We hope it gets passed, otherwise we're going to have to renotice it and try to get the members to agree to pass it.
I guess the city's frustration is that you had a compliance date of April 16th, but yet you waited till 2 days ago to submit. What was the delay?
We just got notified of this ourselves, but they had a delay with just the property manager. They just got recently another property manager a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And then trying to get everything, noticed with the board and getting, that's what the delay was.
And I'm sorry, you said how many units are there?
50, correct?
And
52.
And they're mostly seniors, you're saying?
Yeah, majority over are 80 and over.
Okay. Did you want to add something, sir? I didn't know who.
I don't know what I can add to that. My name is David Magden. I'm an owner there. I do have a permission to speak from the president of the association. We do have also, I have with me a letter of intent for the contractor that will be doing the job. This same contractor is doing our roof right now as we speak. So there's a lot going on in our building. We did give this work to our manager, and it was even given to the previous 2 managers since October of last year, where we had the first meeting here. And they dropped the ball. It's not good for us, but we are we're getting on the right track right now.
So how much time are you seeking to get into compliance?
Are you talking about the completion of the job? Because we did have the engineering report, which was sent in on time. We did pay the fees, which I could tell you the dates.
I think they just need the report, the 40-year, right? You're seeking the 40-year inspection.
50-year.
I'm looking at the docket.
The problem is that we follow what is mandated by BORA, okay? And in order for us to accept or to be agreed to an extension, there has to be a letter from the engineer of record requesting the extension, and it needs to be or must be an active permit. That's what they're missing.
So neither
Right, we filed the permit.
There is no
The
an active permit, and this case has been running since 5/12 of 2023.
Okay, that's the issue. So my hands are tied because you don't have an active permit.
But the application is submitted.
The application is
I
not an
have-
active permit,
I have the
unfortunately.
permit number.
No, you have a permit application that was submitted 2 days ago.
It's not an active permit, it has to be issued to be active.
Okay.
So how long does that take to get issued?
Depends on the accuracy of the documents that are submitted.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grant the city's request because when we're dealing with recertification, these are life safety issues. And then I'm going to do an order to reappear on July 18th so that we can at that point address the ongoing fines and they can be stayed if you're, once you're in compliance, then you can request mitigation.
Like I did say 8 years ago, the stuff was done, so it should be, it's.
I understand, but.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I actually have with me the final report from the engineer from 8 years ago. This is from 2016.
But that's not going to satisfy the city's.
No, I understand that, but we did have the work done. It's just the paperwork for the 50-year was not put in.
I mean, this is to protect you. That's really
yeah, we want to do it.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
So once there is an active permit, if you get an engineer to submit to the building department a signed and sealed letter saying that more time is needed and that there's no safety issue present, then the building department can give you more time.
Okay, so right now we need to come back July 18th.
Do you want to do an order to reappear?
I mean,
No.
I don't think we need an
Okay,
order to
all right, so
reappear
I'm not-
because,
so-
again, just if you follow the permit, once it's issued, it's active.
Okay, it should be done
And then
before
you get
So-
that letter over to the building department and they can give you more time and the fines will be stated.
So I'm going to grant the city's request. Once you're in compliance, we'll do mitigation.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have
Thank
a
you.
great day.
Our next case is on page Senior Inspector Jose Saragusti. Property address 2032 Sunrise Key Boulevard. Owner, Med Irrevocable Trust, Federico Martinez, trustee. Case number BE 23120171. Notice posted at the property on 5/31/24, posted at 1 East Royal Boulevard, 6624.
Inspector Saragusti, on behalf of the city, presenting the case as read. I received this case from an email regarding construction work without permit. New pergola with electrical and plumbing without a permit. The property was signed for work without permit under Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1. The case was opened on December 28, 2023. Inspection report was made on January 1st, 2024. Final notice was made on February 22nd, 2024, and notice of hearing posted on the property on June 4th, 2024. I've been in contact with a lawyer regarding this property. There is a permit under process, or maybe they will demolish the structure. We are asking the magistrate that they find that the violation exists and to grant to the property owner 91 days to come in compliance or a fine of $50 per day thereafter. I will let the respondent to speak.
There we go. Michael Marino, I am legal counsel for Med Irrevocable Trust, which is the owner. And yes, we would appreciate getting the 90 days. We're in the process of resolving the issue, and permits have been applied for, and we're working with the contractor to resolve the issue. We anticipate that it'll be resolved within that 90 days, 91 days.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
So ordered. You have a 9/19/24 will be your compliance date or a fine $50 a day.
Yeah, perfect. Thank
Right.
you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Your Honor, at this time, the city is requesting a 5-minute recess.
Okay.
Thank you for your patience. Okay, our next case is on page 3. Senior Inspector Alexander Boris, property address 100 Isle of Venice Drive, owner Guardian Isle of Venice LLC, case number BE 2308-0223. Notice posted at the property on 5/30/24, posted at 1 East Royal Boulevard, 6624.
Alexander Alvarez, Building Inspector for the city, presenting case number and address is read. This property was cited for violation of City Ordinance 9-280B, building parts not maintained. There is deterioration to the foundations visible from the north side elevation. Case was open 8/14/2023. Inspection report mailed to the property owner 8/17/2023. Final notice mailed 9/29/2023. Records show that the permit application BLD-RMIS-240101145 for concrete repair of existing gravings was approved and awaiting permit issuance as of June 10, 2024. City is requesting for the magistrate to find the violation exists and grant property owner 180 days to come into compliance by completing the required repairs or a fine of $50 per day thereafter. City is also requesting for final order to be recorded. A respondent is here to provide additional information.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Small, and I'm here on behalf of the owner. So we went ahead and filed the permit. We've gotten plans made first by an architect and then decided after meeting with some inspectors and reviewing the property again that additional plans should be made by a structural engineer. So those were resubmitted. So the permit has been in review for quite some time, but it's ready to be issued. Permit fees are paid, and it's ready to go. So work can commence. There's already been a kickoff meeting between the contractor and the engineer to go ahead and review everything and get it ready. So once the permit is issued, work can begin.
Okay, so the city's seeking a compliance date of December 17th, which is 180 days.
Okay.
Okay, or a fine $50 a day, obviously if you run into a problem, but, okay, so ordered.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 11. Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr., property address 6520 Northwest 9th Ave, owner 6520 Powerline Warehouse LLC, case number BE 2307-0291. This case was first heard on 2/15/24 to comply by 4/18/24. One section not complied at $50. The city is requesting to impose the full amount of $3,100, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Inspector Wilson Quintero Jr. on behalf of the city. Case and address as read. Just to briefly summarize, this case was opened on July 25th, 2023. Sprinkler pipe burst and Senior Inspector Martinez went out. The water damage from the pipe damaged like what's kind of like a kitchen break area underneath of it. He deemed it unsafe at that time. It was cited for being in disrepair, and till this day, they just applied for a permit in May, which hasn't been issued yet for the repairs of that. So the fines are running, and it's, the city's position to impose it because it's been since that time frame, and they still haven't completed anything. They just submitted for the permit last month, or May, I believe it was May 20th.
Good morning, please.
Good morning. I'm the property manager, Andrea Norman. I understand we're going to get fines today. I just wanted to let the magistrate know we've been having problems with this tenant. We've been getting a lot of lip service. This is their responsibility under their lease. They kept telling us they were taking care of it. We trusted them. Unfortunately, we didn't follow up on it. We did, as soon as we got the notice on the 2nd, file eviction paperwork against the tenant. And then less than 2 weeks after we filed the eviction paperwork, we did have an active submit for a permit. So since the landlord or the property owner has taken a more active approach, we are taking steps to move forward. We do apologize. We were negligent in following up with our tenant, and we understand that. And that's really, I'm not asking for an extension or anything. I'm just here to apologize.
Okay, thank you. So once you're in compliance, we can deal with mitigation, but I'm going to grant the city's request for full amount to accrue.
Yes, ma'am, I completely understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 14. Senior Inspector Jose Saragusti, property address 5560 Northeast 26th Ave, owner Michael Raymond Walton, homestead exempted, Michelle Lafria, case number BE 211-20098. This case was first heard on 9/15/22 to comply by 11/17/22. One section not complied at $50. The city is requesting to impose the full amount of $10,900, which continues to accrue. There are several extensions noted.
Jose Saragusti, Building Inspector for the city, presenting the case number as read. The case is not comply. This case was opened on December 2021, and it has several extensions, exactly 6 extensions already. For that, the city is requesting to impose the fines. I will let the respondent to speak.
My name is Mike Walton. I'm the property owner. And the reason for the extensions, we went in front of the BOA committee, Board of Adjustments, and they declined our last request. So now we're going through, we did try a rehear, although we didn't need to go through that process. I was misinformed by the city. So we are going to try a new variance to change some of the measurements before we do any changes. And that's going to be submitted next week. I just got the final plans from the architect.
When was the last request denied?
It was about a month ago.
And now you're going to try for another variance?
Yeah, we're going to change some of the dimensions to lower the height of the tiki hut before we do any construction work on
How much time do you need?
it. 60 days.
Okay, I'm going to grant it. I'm not going to have him do something in case that he's able to get the variance. After this, if you're not able to get it then, you know.
No,
I'm
I
gonna
agree.
impose-
I agree.
You know, I can't keep it going. So I'm going to I'm going to stay the fines and grant additional time till August 22nd.
Your Honor, we would just note that, since I used to staff the Board of Adjustment on a temporary basis, the hearing time to get on there is a month or 2 tops. And again, this case has been going on since 2021. So it took 3 years to go to the board for the board to deny the variance. So we would ask that the fines be imposed and then address the fines later if the board is inclined to grant a variance based upon the alleged redesign. It's an existing tiki hut, so I'm not sure.
Well, that's not 100% true because there was a lot of deferments from our case. They asked it for more information, so we did have to ask for a couple of extra extensions during that period. And then, like I said, I was given misinformation about going back and appealing as opposed to submitting a new request.
Your tiki hut's already there, so
Yes.
you're going to alter the existing tiki hut?
Yes, rather than remove it, because I can't lower it down to the 12-foot height because of water intrusion. The pitch of the roof would fail to hold any water for a tiki.
So there is alternatives?
There is no alternative except to completely remove it.
I think
Okay, so
also
then-
it's in the setback, correct? The tiki hut.
And a minor setback, yeah.
There are a lot of violation of this tiki hut. For that, we not agree to give any other extension.
It's the height and the setback. But before I do any changes to it, I want to see if I can get the height and do all the changes at the same time.
Okay, I understand now where the city's coming from. This has been going on for 3 years. And so, I'd rather impose the fines and then come back for mitigation, because if you can get them to grant the variance, then great, and then we'll deal with your fines. But in the meantime, it's gone on longer than most cases, and you've been given so many already extensions.
Right, I'm doing this all myself, so, you know, it's taken a little bit going through the process. The Board of Adjustment, just going through that paperwork and getting everything approved took almost a year to be heard. And then there was deferments once I was in front of the board 3 or 4 times. You know, they just didn't get through their backlog.
I understand, but your violation's 3 years old, almost 3 years old. So I'm going to grant the city's request, and once you're in compliance, we can deal with mitigation at that point.
But there shouldn't be any fines up until this date because we've been in compliance with following all of the hearings and everything else and keeping everybody informed.
Well, the city's position is that you have $10,900 in fines, so.
I don't understand that because I've been at every single one of these and I've been granted extensions.
There is $10,900 fines already.
There shouldn't be any fines on this.
We can see that one after.
I think we need to double check that because I've been here, I have not missed one of these hearings. I've changed my travel schedules to make sure that I'm here. I'm keeping everybody up to date.
I don't know if the city has that information now, or is it something you can?
We can check our records.
Yeah.
If there's any gap in a meeting, and then we can discuss that.
Is that something you can do during our hearing and come back to?
Here's the gaps. There's his suspensions. He had a gap between July and September, and then November and February.
Okay, I see
Yeah,
what
there
you're
are 2
saying.
gaps.
There's, okay.
I
No
didn't have
electric.
access. No, I don't know.
Thank you.
No electric.
So according to the docket here, there's 2 gaps that were the fines accumulated. From July 2023 to September 21st, 2023, the fines accumulated. And from November 16, 2023 until February 15, 2024, fines also ran. And I'm assuming fines may continue to run from April 18 to today's date. So there's been 3 periods.
The last time I was here, it was deferred. Last time I was here, there was no fines. The fines were on hold, so if that,
I don't have that in my information here.
I was here last time. I remember you actually said that you were going to hold the fines.
Yeah, I
Every
did.
single time I've been here, they said that they were going to hold fines. That's why this is all new to me, that there's outstanding fines.
Your
Like I
Honor,
said,
that-
I've been here every single time. I've gone to the Board of Adjustments, every single hearing that's
Your-
been.
Your Honor, that
There-
can be discussed after the case is complied. We
Okay,
can
but-
discuss about the fines.
Okay, do you guys have that information that you can look at while we're in special magistrate, and I can readdress?
No, that'd have to be the administrative clerk, so I don't think we can
Okay,
really do
okay,
that at
so,
this juncture.
again, I don't have that information, we can't go over it now, it's prior to, December 20 and 23 is prior to me becoming magistrate, so I have no independent knowledge or information on that either. So, again, I'm going to grant the city's request to impose the amount, but obviously if it's wrong, then they'll do a vacate.
Okay, like I said, I've been here every single time. I have not missed any hearings. I've been to all the Board of Adjustments every single time that they said they were going to defer the fines, hold the fines, and that's why this is complete news to me. Otherwise, it wouldn't.
Sorry, the case, it has.
I mean, at $10,000,
280
it costs more.
days
The
extension.
fines are more than the tiki hut is.
280 days fines, each $50 per day.
But that shouldn't be. You guys gave me extensions.
Your Honor, we discussed that late, that we can discuss that later when the case is complied, not at this time, okay?
Okay, so I am going to readdress it. Right now I'm going to grant the city's request. The fines are going to start to run today. They have to run because the city's requesting it. It's been gone on for 3 years almost, and you're still not in compliance. I understand you keep trying to get around it, and you're getting denied and denied, but there may be a point where there is not going to be a variance that you're going to be able to obtain. So you have
Well, I've
to
only
get
went for one variance, just to be clear, and I'm going for another one. And what was told to me was as long as I'm trying to make this right, there should be no fines being opposed.
Okay, I don't know who told you that, but
You guys did. You guys did. And even at the Board of Adjustment, because there was so many deferments, they said as long as you go to your hearings and let them know that it's in process, there shouldn't be any fines being opposed.
Well, the board wouldn't say that, again, because I sat as the lawyer for
Actually,
that board.
you're the one that told me that, to be completely honest.
I wouldn't have said that.
You
Because-
did. You
no.
said as long as you're working to clear it and.
And it's already been denied. A height variance on tiki huts is never going to be approved by the Board of Adjustment, because again, on the year that I sat on that board, they never approved a height variance for tiki huts. And if it's in the setback, that may be, depending on the amount in the setback, but the height is never going to be approved. And again, it's because it's been going on for 3 years. We allow for extensions if there is a timely movement and application to BOA, and then once the BOA makes the decision, that, you know, obviously if it's granted, that's fine, but once it's, you know, denied, that's not the case.
You're the first one that's told me that they've never granted any height adjustments on tikis. And if that's true, I wouldn't have gone through this process, but nobody's told me that whatsoever. They said you're allowed to go try and do a variance.
You're absolutely allowed to go.
Right, but you're the first one that told me it's never been approved. Otherwise, if
Well,
I
I'm not
known
going to
that
say
they.
never, because again, I qualified that I only sat there as a temporary attorney for a year. But
Right.
in the year that I was there, they did not grant, and obviously they didn't grant yours.
Well, and I
They
agree.
denied
I
it.
mean, I agree. It was a little egregious on the height. I do agree with that after the fact, and that's why I'm trying to lower it. But I can only lower it so much. Otherwise, the water will go right through the tiki hut. It has to have a certain pitch in order for the water to run off. And that's where I'm going in front of the variance committee to explain.
While we really appreciate your cooperation, and we will take that into consideration, it comes to a point where we can't continue granting extensions simply because you want to appeal the decision of the variance board. So, I mean, once that's all settled, we certainly could, you know, reconsider the fines and work.
Again, I'm not going against their judgment. I'm just trying to go in with a new request where I can modify the tiki and do it all in one shot.
Right, but in the meantime, the structure remains out of compliance. That's why permits are obtained prior to the process, because otherwise, everybody could simply say.
Yeah, but there's a misnomer in that you don't need a permit for a tiki hut, which I understand that after the fact, but everybody, you know, that we speak to ahead of time says you don't need a permit for a tiki hut. And so I understand that, but once I've gotten filed with this, I've been trying to do the right thing.
Again, while we appreciate your cooperation, it's gone 3 years. It comes to a point we have to make a decision.
But a lot of that is on the city as well.
It's not on the
me.
city. It's the process.
It's the process, correct.
They don't meet every week.
Right.
They meet every month.
Right.
They meet every month.
Right.
And if it gets too late, then they defer it to the next month, or if they have a certain request, it could be deferred a couple months.
But not 3 years.
And just getting the paperwork in and getting it approved by the city to get it onto the schedule.
Okay,
Takes a lot of
like
time.
you said earlier, you did it yourself. Maybe you could have had some professional assistance. It may not that be easy to navigate, but to blame the city for a 3-year process is.
I'm not blaming the 3-year process, but all I'm asking is for another extension to go and request this one last
Right,
thing.
and the city's
see.
objecting to it.
Right,
So-
and that's all I'm fighting for, is just the ability to see if I can get this request approved and then get the permits approved. I mean, we filed for permits, it's holding off on the variance piece.
But you're not going to get the permits approved if you don't
I
grant the
understand that,
variance. So
that's
it
why
doesn't
I'm
really matter what you.
trying to follow the process.
Okay, I'm going to grant the city's requests. I'm not going to keep granting continuances. You've been given 6 of them already. If in fact you're able to get the variance, then we'll deal with the mitigation of it, which would obviously be very simple, because then you got the variance.
Okay.
Right, and we said we would look at the amount of fines. Staff will evaluate, look at
Right,
that
like I
as
said,
well.
I've been at every one of these. I haven't missed any. I've changed my travel, so there shouldn't be any.
We'll review the file and
Right.
absolutely look at that.
And please
If that's
do.
not accurate, we take back cases all the time to
Because
vacate fines.
this is the one thing I take very seriously, is to make sure that I'm here and I'm at the Board of Adjustment meetings whenever I requested.
Okay. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 13. Inspector Andrew Gebbia, property address 2931 Riverland Road, owner William Londos, Case number BE 23090080. This case was first heard on 2/15/24. To comply by 4/18/24. Fine suspended as noted. One section complied at $250. Total fines $9,750. The city is requesting to reduce to administrative costs of $1,272.88. This case was ordered to reappear.
Good morning. This is Inspector Andrew Gebbia with the city presenting on behalf of Building Inspector Preston Mark. Case and address is read. This case has complied, but fines are accruing. Our records show that permit PM-190-80209 for the construction of new two-story SFR is still in issued status and pending missing inspections. The city is requesting that fines be reduced to administrative costs of $1,272.88. I will allow the respondent to speak.
Good morning. Please state your name.
Good morning, Gabriel P.
Okay. Are you in agreement with the city's
Yes, I am.
recommendation? Okay, so ordered. I'm going to grant the city request for administrative costs of $1,272.88.
My only question is there's no occurring fines as of right now, just that, the 1,200 and that's it.
I'm not at liberty.
You're in compliance, so there should be
Okay, I just
no
wanna make
ongoing
sure.
fines, okay?
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 11. Senior Inspector Alejandro Del Rio, property address 837 North Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard. Owner 837 NFLBB LLC, case number BE 23030243. This case was first heard on 8/17/23. To comply by 10/19/23. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50. The city is requesting to impose the full amount of $9,100, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, updating case as read. Case is not in compliance. No permit has been applied for. I'm going to let the respondent speak.
I'm speaking on behalf of the owner.
Please state your name.
Matthew Doyle. And basically, they have gotten the architect to come up with the plans, and they're in contact with the structural engineer. In regards to the awning, the work needs to be done on it to make sure that it's safe as well and structurally safe. So the structural engineer has requested that the awning holes get drilled into the awning to see if the pillars are made of brick or if they're made of concrete. And from that decision, then we'll be able to see if we need to fill it in with concrete to make it safe or not. So what we're kind of requesting is just some more time to get this process done.
There's no permits in issued status, right?
No.
Are there permits in
They
applied?
haven't applied for permit.
Okay, so you don't have any permits in applied status. So without that, there's really no basis for additional time because you haven't even applied. Your permit, once you apply it and it's being under review, there's more of a reason to grant additional time. But because you haven't even submitted a permit, I'm going to deny your request and grant the city's request for the full amount to continue to accrue.
Okay. Thank you.
Our next case is on page 17, Senior Inspector Leonardo Martinez. Property address 1060 Northeast 5th Terrace. Owner, Philadelphia Fundamental Baptist Church. Case number BE 23010125. This case was first heard on 6/15/23 to comply by 7/27/23. Fine suspended as noted. One section complied at $100. Total fines, $26,500. City is requesting to reduce the administrative costs of $1,275.
Good morning, Inspector Martinez representing the city. Case and address as read. Case is comply. We are requesting only administration costs. I'm going to let the representative to speak.
Good morning. My name is Jacques Altido, and the case was taking some time, but it's done perfectly, and thank you for the result.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank
All right, so I'm going to grant the city's request and only an order administrative costs be paid in the amount of $1,275.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, can you?
The city was requesting that the fine be reduced only to administrative costs of $1,275, so I'm going to grant the request.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Our next case is on page 12. Senior Inspector Alexander Boris, property address 1621 Northeast 16 Terrace 1-2. Owner Alejandria Redinger, Ricardo Salguero, and all others. Case number BE 22120118. This case was first heard on 8/17/23. Two complied by 10/19/23. One section complied at $50. Total fines $9,700. The city is requesting to abate fines.
Alexander Arbores, Building Inspector for the city. As stated, the city is requesting to abate fines.
Is there an amount the city is requesting?
I'm sorry?
You're asking to reduce the fines to,
To abate the fines.
okay. Please state your name.
My name is Ricardo Salguero.
This is your opportunity to respond.
Yes, Your Honor, I agree with Mr. Alvarez's request. I think he's been very helpful, and we've had some challenges getting compliance, but it's finally, the property is finally in compliance, so yeah, I agree with Mr. Alvarez.
So are you asking him to zero them, or you're saying abate?
Yes, Your Honor. What happened was when the violation was discovered, they had two buildings on this property. The real building was a garage. It was being used as an apartment. Immediately when the violation was discovered, there was multiple violations. They removed some pavers that were the water was running off to their neighbor's yard. That was installed without a permit. They removed that immediately. They removed a small wood structure on the side of the property immediately, and they began addressing the issue to legalize the garage. They went back and forth trying to get approval. The unit was not occupied. Then after going through some hurdles, they decided to instead to turn it back into a garage. That also proved to be a challenge, and they decided finally to demolish the whole structure in order to come into compliance.
Okay, so I'll grant the city's request to abate the fines to zero.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 14. Senior Inspector Jose Saragusti, property address 511 East Broad Boulevard, owner West Pavilion Limited, case number BE 2308-0329. This case was first heard on 2/15/24. Two complied by 3/21/24. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50. The city is requesting to impose the full amount of $1,350, which continues to accrue.
Jose Saragusti, Building Inspector for the city, presenting the case number read. The case is not complied. The city is requesting 81 days extension and stop the fines. I will let the respondent to speak.
Okay.
To confirm, you said 91 days
91.
and to stop the fines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add to that. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to stop the fines and grant you compliance dated September 19th, or the fines will start.
I'm still going through permit approval, so all I request is when I come back on September 19th, I'm able to provide additional update of where we are with the permit.
Are you requesting to reappear? Because I wasn't going to order.
No, it's not necessary. As soon as the permit is issued, I will close.
Okay. I thought
sorry.
you have all the work done.
So
Okay,
I just gave you, right, all I gave was your compliance date, and
Perfect.
we stopped the fines.
I should definitely be done by September. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 12. Senior Inspector Alexander Boris, property address Northeast 21st Street, case number BE 24020119, owner Palms 2100 Ocean Boulevard Limited, this case was first heard on 4/18/24 to comply by 5/23/24. One section not complied at $100. The city is requesting to impose the full amount of $2,700, which continues to accrue.
Good morning. How are you, Special Master? Nice to see you.
I see you too.
Alexander Albores, Building Inspector for the city, updating you on case number and address is read. The property was cited for violation of City Ordinance 9-280C. Inside, outside stairway, porches, balconies, hallways, corridors, and all appurtenances thereto shall be maintained in a safe condition and capable of supporting the loads set forth in the Florida Building Code. There is the south end shade structure is leaning out of plumb in disrepair, and the south end of the boardwalk is in disrepair. The boardwalk includes a public access easement, and the gazebo was not part, and the gazebo was part of the originally approved plan. Due to the unsafe condition of the structure, the boardwalk public easement remains closed off to the public. The case is not in compliance. City is requesting fines to be imposed. Counselor is here to provide additional information.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much, Darren Gursky, on behalf of the association. This is just a gazebo, so it's not living. There's nothing living here. And it's off to the side, and obviously it's all boarded off so nobody could access it. And it's not interfering with any easement or anything of that nature. It's obviously in disrepair. We were cited this earlier this year, and we initially sought an extension. About 6 weeks ago, the association sought for permitting on this, issued a permit application. It's come back on its second round of questions as of last week. Obviously, the idea is to repair this or replace it and put it back in good condition. That's all we've been wanting to do the entire time. I would respectfully request that any fines be abated and or put at zero. There's no purpose for that actually right now, especially in light of the association's posture in the effort to undertake the necessary resolution of the condition. That's the association's position, and I don't think there should be much objection, especially based on the fact that the association also has a general contractor to perform the work as well.
And there was a hearing on April 18th where there was a compliance date on May 23rd. Was there an attempt to get additional time to comply? Did you reach out to the inspector to see, for assistance with this?
So my understanding at that particular hearing, and in fairness to me, I was recently retained, but my understanding at that particular hearing was my client was unauthorized to speak at that particular hearing, and that was just the ruling that was made without the ability to provide some context as to the status.
Okay, that I can't. I mean, I'm assuming when you sign in, they know in advance whether or not someone has the authority to speak on the condo's behalf. So at that point, there must have been authority given. Otherwise, they wouldn't have allowed that person to speak on the condos association's
No, he's
behalf.
saying the opposite, that someone was here
didn't.
but they couldn't speak, which again, that's not the city's issue. And again, with the order, certainly somebody could have asked for an extension of time with the inspector prior to May 23rd. Did anyone do that?
But that's a good point, right? The city had our permit application prior to May 23rd. So when the city didn't issue final on the permit prior to May 23rd, clearly we're working together here, right? And so at that particular time, it's obviously we could not get the permit to issue compliance because the permit hadn't been issued in final. Actually, the second round of questions was issued after May 23rd.
How much time do you need to get in compliance?
So my understanding is it will take 60 days to fix this once the permit is issued.
Okay, so
Your Honor, if I may add something.
Sure.
The issue that we're having with this gazebo and boardwalk is that there has been many complaints which they continue to come in on a regular basis because the residents they don't have access to the boardwalk. Instead, they have to take a detour around 818 to access the beach.
Just the other
It
side
is
of the
my
property.
understanding, it is my understanding that from the initial complaint that the boardwalk has been closed off since 2022 and 2023.
Because of
From
that
the-
structure?
From the initial complaint, yes.
Wow.
Later, they took some action and got a permit to make repairs to the boardwalk and not the gazebo. What this accomplished was it allowed access to the residents of the Palms, but not to the other residents that do not reside at the Palms. Like I said, this complaint, they continue to come in. I mean, I get calls multiple times, and not just me, other staff continue to get calls from this complaint. In addition to that, if you look at the photograph, it's not occupied like the counselor stated, it's closed off, but it's leaning out of plumb. I've had conversations with the property manager. It has not been braced off. No additional action has been taken to prevent this from collapsing, okay? Nobody would be inside, but if someone happens to be walking adjacent to it, it could potentially cause damage to any citizens. This is something that needs to be addressed sooner than later. We have offered to expedite the plan review. I have records here from the permit record. On May 10, the corrections were required of last month, okay? We didn't get corrections until June 14. That's over 30 days to address comments from the reviewer. When the corrections were submitted, we received an email on June 14 requesting if we could assist with the expediting the review process. Within 4 days, the city concluded building, landscaping, zoning review, and on 6/18, it was, again, awaiting client reply. We believe that it is, I mean, if we grant extension, this can go on and on and on. And in the meantime, there's no access for the residents, and we don't have any letter from an engineer stating that action has been taken to prevent this structure from collapsing. For that reason, that's why the city cannot support any extension at this time.
I guess.
Mr. Magistrate, I'd like to add that and reiterate that while the counselor mentioned that it could be repaired in 60 days once he gets a permit, it's taken 2 years for us to get here, and only because we initiated this case. The association was well aware of it for over 2 years.
That's actually not accurate.
Even the boardwalk was unusable. This boardwalk is an easement to allow residents from neighboring condominiums to access the beach. And rightfully so, this was an agreement that was approved by the city DRC and planning department that this easement be installed in order for the project for the Palms to be permitted. They've allowed the boardwalk to go on for an extensive amount of time in disrepair to the point to where they did not address this gazebo that they were fully aware of. They're blocking it off, like he said, as if, to make it safer, but it's impeding people's access to the boardwalk. So actually boarding off this gazebo is right back where we started from. It's prohibiting access, and the neighbors are complaining.
So to actually add context to what that gentleman said, that 2 years ago, it was the other side of the property. They already have a permit for the other side of the property. This is on the south side. So we're talking about north and south side, two different sections. Notwithstanding the fact, okay, we're here, and we obviously have sought the permit. So I'm in a situation right now where I can either perform work without a permit, which is a violation, in order to gain some compliance so people can use the walkway, or I can get the extension to do the work properly in accordance with my permit. listen, obviously yesterday was a holiday, so I get comments back on June 18th. I can't do anything
No, I
yesterday.
understand that, but I think the city's
Yesterday wasn't
frustration
a
is.
holiday for us.
Yeah, I think the city's frustration is, it's more than that. I mean, you can't use one day as an excuse. You had May 10th until June 14th to file a response, and you had it for over a month, and no response was made.
Well, I'm relying upon, obviously, other people to do that, too. So it's not, and there is obviously a level of urgency, and I can appreciate that, too, notwithstanding that fact. The reality is, look, obviously we came here wanting to do the right thing, and to impose fines while I'm waiting for the permit to be issued in order to do the work that I'm already going to do work, only to have to come back at a later date to go through a mitigation doesn't seem to offer sense at this particular time. If I made the commitment to Your Honor, it would be fixed within 60 days of issuance of the permit. And if there's obviously some diligence with this permit process, I don't know. I mean, I'm saying right here, if we were talking about 180 days for full compliance, I think that obviously would make it, or a little less. I'm just trying to be practical.
I understand, but there's been more of a history than that. You know, they brought you aboard late, and that's not your fault, but they don't also get rewarded for that. This needs to get done. So I'm going to grant the city's request, and then you can request mitigation.
Well,
and maybe that'll expedite, it'll encourage you guys to move it forward a little quicker, but the city's been more than patient, and when you have, you're blocking the right of way for other people to use that, and obviously nobody can get on it, and saying there's another way to get around it isn't always a solution, especially if you're in a wheelchair, you're handicap accessible, you may not have another way to get around it. So I'm going to grant the city's request.
Well, what is the city's request?
To impose the fines.
To impose the fines, and the fines will continue to run until you're in compliance.
What are the fines?
$2,700.
And what are the continuing fines?
$100 a day.
$100 a day just for me to sit here and wait for the city, for me to get back to the city on the comments, and then I got to wait for the comments back for the permits, and we're being fined during that process? Okay.
Our next case is on page 13. Inspector Andrew Gebbia, property address 1400 Southwest 32nd Court. Owner Connections HG LLC, case number BE 23070073. This case was first heard, excuse me, on 1/18/24 to comply by 3/21/24. One section not complied at $50. The city is requesting to impose the full amount of $4,500, which continues to accrue. I'm sorry, ma'am, we're going to have to recall this case. Okay, thank you. Our next case is on page 18. You ready? Okay. Senior Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 1122 Northwest 9th Ave. Owner Restoring Grace Community Church, Inc., case number BE 23010102. This case was first heard on 6/15/23 to comply by 7/27/23. One section complied at $100. Total fines $26,600. City is requesting to vacate order imposing fine on 4/18/24 and reimpose administrative costs of $1,275.
Building Inspector Leonardo Martinez, representing the city, case and address as read. The case is complied. The city is requesting administration cost of $1,275. I'll let the respondent speak.
Jerome Simonet for Restoring Grace Church. We submitted a day late because we're waiting for the architect's reports, but it's in full compliance now. Thank you.
Right.
And
So
we
with the
agree.
city, right, the city is asking to waive the fine to $26,600 And the only thing they want imposed are the administrative costs of
Yes.
$1,275. So you're in agreement with
We're
that?
in agreement, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to grant that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Our next case is on page 6. Senior Inspector Jorge Martinez. Property address 442 Southwest 22nd Terrace. Sorry. Owner Basil G. and Ellen L. Weiss. Case number BE 24010121. Notice posted at the property on 5/31/24, posted at 1 East Rock Boulevard, 6624. This is a new business case.
Inspector Martinez, on behalf of the city, presenting the case as read. Buildings or structures that, in the opinion of the building official, are become unsafe or which have been substantially damaged or otherwise shall be deemed unsafe building, and a permit shall be obtained to demolish the structure or bring the building to comply with the applicable codes. This building is abandoned, half of the roof has collapsed, and the gable end wall is collapsing into the main house roof. The city is requesting the following: that in the next 60 days, the owner applies for the required permits to bring the property into compliance with signed and sealed submittal documents from a licensed design professional, including an accurate itemized cost to restore the structure to meet standard for human occupancy and to meet minimum housing standards, or apply for a demolition permit to demolish the unsafe, unhabitable structure, including all accessory structures on the parcel. In the event the owner does not apply for the permit and move forward with the rehabilitation or demolition of the property, the city will move forward with the demolition, including all accessory structures on the parcel, at owner's expense, and may lien the property to recover the demolition cost.
Is there a daily fine that you're seeking as well? Or no. No. So you either want a demolition permit or you want permitting to be obtained?
To repair it, to
Okay.
fix it. And if they don't do either, then the city would like the ability to go in and demolish.
Okay. Please state your name for the record.
Hey, I'm trying.
Speak your name.
My name is Basil Weiss.
Okay, do you understand what's happening?
No, wait a minute, Daddy. No.
Are you his daughter?
Yes.
Okay, so please, what is your name?
My name is Sonia Weisgreen.
Okay.
So am I hearing correctly? He has 60 days to get a permit to do one or the other?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So
60 days to get a permit to demolish or fix.
Certainly at least start the process.
Instead-
Certainly at least to start that
Okay.
process, be
He's
well.
been trying. What happened is he got different people, one retired on him. I'm trying to keep, I learned a lot just being here. But like I told him, he needs to speak to the inspector. That's another thing I learned here. So I'm gonna try. I don't live with him, but he's trying the best he can in between his sickness and me
Yeah.
taking him to it.
He's not living there, is he?
Yeah, that part nobody lives in that part. It's never been inhabitable. It was just it's an addition. It's an enclosed carport that he turned into a garage.
But he's living in the structure?
In the structure part.
But they'll demolish the entire house, right?
And
Yes, ma'am.
I ordered a trust for it. I'm just looking for a contractor to finish it because the contractor I had,
Right.
he
Okay.
retired on me. He said he's too old. He retired. So I got another new contractor.
Right, well, we don't want you to lose your home, so you have to either quickly find someone that's gonna do the permitting for you, do the work for you, or you're gonna have to get a demolition permit. So those are your two options, so,
Demolition permit or fix it.
okay, you
Can
have
you hear
until
her?
August 22nd to do that, otherwise the
Yes.
city will demolish it on their
And now
own.
50 days.
63 days,
August what?
August 22nd.
2/2 or 2/7?
2/2, but don't make it that close.
Yeah, I just gotta
Yeah.
write this stuff down. Okay, August 2/2.
If
To
not,
get a
this,
permit to do one or the other.
right, you don't want the city to come in and demolish it.
You don't want the city to come and demolish it.
Okay.
And ma'am,
I
and
do
maybe
that. I
you want to
understand.
get his card before you leave?
Yes, I am.
I want to talk to him.
Okay, Mr. George, thank you.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Yes, thanks.
63? Okay. And what's about 50? I know.
Okay. We're going to recall the case on page 13, 1400 Southwest 32nd Court.
Building Inspector Leo Martinez, presenting this case for Inspector Preston Mark. This case was opened on July 11th of 2023. And the violations were a new fence, new AC, interior kitchen and bathroom remodel. Until today, there are 2 permits in process that they are not even issued, and the city is requesting the fines to be imposed. I'm gonna let the representative to speak.
Okay.
My name is Paula Hoyos. So I did not renovate any kitchen, just paint the cabinets and change the dishwasher and the bathrooms, change vanities. And I didn't touch any plumber, any electrical, any outlets, anything. So everything is existing. The machine, the AC machine is 2018. It's existing machine. I just did the main list because the flood, the outside part, they got flood. So then I just did the main list, that's all. But I don't think I need permits for that.
So, Your Honor, this is obviously a Massey hearing. There's already been a finding at the beginning of this year, actually, that there was all that work done without permit.
So there was already a hearing that the magistrate found that the work had been done, okay, and that you needed to get a permit, and you didn't get the permit. So now the city is seeking that you have to pay this fine that because it's been accruing, so you haven't gotten through any permitting.
Yeah, but I didn't touch anything, so everything
Okay,
is
but that should have been argued at the last hearing. There was another hearing prior to this one where it was determined that this work you had to get a permit, that the work was done, and you had to get a permit.
Oh, yeah, my husband did. He did that in the last one.
Okay,
But
well, it's too late now to argue that you didn't do it. Now you have to get in compliance. Whatever that is, you have to get in compliance. So you need to reach out to the inspector, have them come in and see what's wrong. And then you can request mitigation afterward. But right now, I'm going to impose the fines because you have no permit. So.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Our next case is also on page 13. Inspector Andrew Gebbia, property address 2900 Northeast 30th Street, G-5, owner Residential Credit Upper Trust, Wilmington Savings Fund trustee. Case number BE 2309-0083. This case was first heard on 3/21/24 to comply by 5/2/24. One section not complied at $50. The city is requesting to impose the full amount of $2,400, which continues to accrue.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Rodrigo Kirilauskas.
I'm going to have them first, and then you can respond.
Sure.
But thank you.
Good morning. My name is Building Inspector Andrew Gebbia with the city, presenting on behalf of Building Inspector Preston Mark. Case and address is read. This case is not complied, and fines are accruing. Our records show that permits are still in the process. The city is requesting that the fines be imposed. I'll allow you to speak.
Thank you. My name is Rodrigo Kirilauskas. I'm the local rep for Wilmington Savings. They obtained this property by way of foreclosure. We had a tenant in there for quite a bit. We just got him out about 3 or 4 months ago. We obtained a lien search, found out about the open permits, and we currently have a contractor that is running and making sure that we can reissue the permit and do the inspections. The work is completed. It was completed by the previous owner, but we're going to go through all the inspections and make sure we get it closed out.
Is the property vacant or is it occupied?
Right now, it's vacant.
Which is vacant.
Yeah.
Okay, so does the city have any objections to just granting additional time since this was a foreclosed property?
Yes, we do. We do not support the extension.
Okay.
The property is up for sale?
The property is up for sale, yes, it is.
Yeah, that's why we don't support that extension.
The property is vacant, though, but, I mean, it is up for sale, but we are going to complete to make it into compliance. I mean, at the end of the day, the potential buyers are going to be financing, and, you know, we can't provide financing with open permits violations, so. And our contractor is already retained, and he's going through the process of making sure we can pull these permits. Or you know, change a contract to do the inspections for the permit.
You have permits in applied status, but they haven't, right? That's what you testified to? The permits in applied status, but they haven't been approved yet?
Well, this was an expired permit, so the previous owner pulled this permit, had the work completed, but they never completed inspections for the windows. So, we're just doing it. We did a change of contractor that we need to do, and then call the inspections to close it out.
Okay. How much time do you need?
We're requesting 90 days.
City would object to that, Your Honor, in light of the fact, again, that it's A, for sale, and B, this is a financial institution, not without means, financial means or resources to get something simple like this accomplished.
All right, I'm going to grant the city's request.
And what is the city's request?
They're just the full amount, $2,400, and that the fine to continue to accrue.
Okay, can we get a few days just to, or 60 days just to do the change of contractor and inspections, or?
The city's, that's what I was asked. The city's objecting to that. The city's, because you're selling the property and it's been going on for some time now, they are objecting to any continuance. So once you're in compliance, and you can ask for additional time you can ask for mitigation once you're in compliance.
Understood. And the fines right now are at $2,400, you mentioned?
Yes, and they're at $50 a day. They started running, let's see, May 2nd. They started running at $50 a day.
Understood. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 4. Inspector Andrew Gebbia, property address 613 Riverside Drive, owner Jennifer M. Murray. Case number BE 240300020. Notice posted at the property on 5/22/24, posted at 1 Eastboro Boulevard, 6/6/24.
Good morning. My name is Andrew Gebbia, building inspector for the city, presenting case and address as read. This property was cited for violation under 9-1D, work illegally performed without obtaining required permits, in the following manner, but not limited to installation of new wood fence. This case was opened on 3/4/24. Inspection report was mailed on 3/8/24. The final notice mailed on 4/8/24. And a special magistrate notice was on 5/14/24. I arrived at the property. I observed a new wood fence with gates installed on each side in front of the property. I checked the records for permits and found that there were no permits on file for the work performed. The city is requesting the magistrate to find that the violations exist and to grant the property owner 42 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day.
Good morning. Please
I will
state-
allow the respondent to speak. Sorry.
My name is Jennifer Murray, but can my son speak for me? Sure.
Sure, of course.
Yes.
Can you just want to move the mic down for him a little bit, ma'am?
Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yeah.
All right. I know ignorance of law is not an excuse. We didn't know we needed a permit because we're not from here. So it's already done, but we're waiting on the after the fact, because if we start working on it right now, waiting on the permit, then we'll be in violation again. So we just need the permit. But it's to landscaping and zoning. They had red flagged all the information we put in, but we can't do the landscaping until whoever's in charge of the zoning come out and say, okay, the fence is cool right here, or it's not, because we have a street in front of our house and behind our house. And so since we have 2 streets running on each side, we have to put mulch and we have to put bushes out there, but it wouldn't make no sense to put that right there and then have to still tear down the bushes to get to the fence.
So the city wants to give you 42 days. Is that enough time to comply, or do you need additional time?
That should be fine. And do that 40 days count after the day we get the permit? Because we still don't have the permit yet.
Well, 42 days, they want full compliance, correct?
Yes.
So that's my question. Is that going to be enough time to get them full compliance?
Not if we don't have the permit. We can't work with no permit.
Okay, so how much time do you need to get the permit and get in compliance?
How long, Mom, you think? How long do you think we need to get the,
63.
Can we get at least 60 days?
I'm going to give you 91 days, okay?
Thank you.
So let's do, I'm going to do a compliance date of 9/19 or a fine of $50 a day. So just make sure you're in touch with the inspector so that you stand, he knows that you're working towards compliance, so the fines will start to run. You have no fines running. You have until September 19th to get in compliance.
I do have one more question.
Sure.
Since we've came and seen you guys today, will that help us get the information together with zoning as well as landscaping, so we can get the permit, so we can start the work? Because we was holding up because we had this court date today. So now that they've seen that we've been here, do you think it'll make the process go a little faster so we get that permit to finish the work?
I'm not sure how fast they expedite over there, but we could certainly look into it.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you want to get the inspector's information, so you could contact him after the hearing, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next case is on page 1, Senior Inspector Jose Saragusti, property address 4312 Northeast 22nd Ave, case number BE 24020102, owner Nathalie Ahuva Cohen and Gabriel Rebo. Case number, notice posted at the property on 5/31/24, posted at 1 East Broad Boulevard, 6624.
Inspector Saragusti, on behalf of the city, presenting the case as read. I received this case from email regarding construction work without permit, new walkway in progress, and jet installed without permit. Also, tree removed. The property was site for work without permit under Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1. The case was opened in February 14, 2024. Inspection report was mailed on February 14, 2024. Final notice was mailed on March 18, 2024. Notice of hearing posted at the property in June 4, 2024. We are asking the magistrate to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 91 days to come in compliance or a fine of $50 per day thereafter. I will let the respondent speak.
I'll take the 91 days.
Okay, say your name for the record.
My name is Gabriel Rebo, the owner of the property.
Okay, all right, so I'm going to grant the city's request for compliance date of 9/19 or a fine of $50 a day.
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 9. Inspector Andrew Gebbia. Property address 1409 Northeast 4th Court 4. Owner, Tasharofi Investment LLC. Case number BE 23120154. Notice posted at the property on 5/9/24, posted at 1 East Broad Boulevard, 6624. Yeah, I should have, that's the way they wrote it on that list.
Good morning. My name is Inspector Andrew Gebbia with the city, presenting on behalf of Building Inspector Preston Mark. Case and address is read. This property was cited for violation under FBC 2020-105.1. Work illegally performed without obtaining the required permits in the following manner, but not limited to: complete home renovation, including windows and doors, framing, drywall, plumbing, electrical, and mechanical. This case was opened on 12/21/23. Inspection report was mailed on 12/22/23. Final notice was mailed on 2/29/24, and special magistrate notice was mailed on 5/2/24. We visited the property to investigate a complaint for work being done without permits. During our investigation, we observed that an entire new unit was also added to the back of this multi-unit building. We requested to see the permits, but the workers only spoke Spanish and understood limited English. The work we documented, including a new addition to the existing building, kitchen, bath, windows, AC system, plumbing, and electrical. As a result, we issued a stop work order and posted it at the property. See the photos. We have had recent communications with the owner, Sean Tasharafi, who is in process of getting the required plans drawn and permits pulled. Records show that no permits pulled as of yet for this work. City is requesting that the magistrate to find that the violations do exist and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance or $50 a day thereafter. I will allow the respondent to speak.
Thank you.
Please state your name for the record.
Sure, Saeed Tasharofi. And, I just wanted to say that it is not a new unit added. It was just a bedroom added to the last unit. So I do have the drawings. Now, it did take a while to find the right architect that could support me through this process and just understanding what steps really needed to be done. And, obviously, this work was done not by the right people. So, I had to kind of align with the right people on find them. As part of that, I also, the architect told me to get a new survey. So I did do that. I got a new survey, and I got everything done about 5 days ago, last week. So I was going to do the permit work. I just didn't know if I should just wait till I talk to you guys and, just get some clarification as far as the next
The city
steps.
just wants you to be done with it in full compliance, which includes the permit, obviously, in 63 days. So are you going to be able to get in full compliance in 63 days?
So my question is, from what I understand, I'll do the permits, and most likely there'd be, hey, you need to fix certain things, right? So then I have to take it back to the architect, redraw, and make the, changes. That is the...
Well, you have to submit your permit to the city. It has to get approved. If there's obviously changes that have to be made, then you have to make the changes, but you need permits. I mean, that's...
Yeah, but I guess my question is, 63 days
to be
till
in
it's
full
approved, or is it filed? Or like...
Till you get an after the fact, you have the permit and the work is approved. Everything has to be done 100%, that the job is done. Because you're doing the work already. I don't know, is there a stop order, or is the work still being done?
Yes, there's a stop work order.
So...
Oh, I haven't done anything, yeah, since
Okay, so the 63 days is to get a permit or to have the whole job, the construction done as well?
To get the permit.
So it's just for permit?
Just to get the permit, right. So, I've been in touch with Mark, but I wasn't quite, clear on some of those details. So, yeah, I mean, I have no problem doing that. Okay. I am traveling, going out of the country July 14th to August 14th, like a month. I'm sorry, it just...
No, it's
bought the
okay.
tickets,
I'm not asking you to come back. We just need to get the permit done,
Okay. I was just going to ask, is it possible to extend it to 90, or is it too much to ask?
The city have any objection?
63 days.
63, okay.
Yeah.
Is it something you could do remote?
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
I just have to figure it out.
Okay, so it'll be an August 22nd compliance date or a fine of $50 a day.
August 22nd.
Right. You don't have to come back here. We just want you to get in compliance, which means getting the permit.
Today, right?
63 days is
Yeah,
August 22nd.
If I could get one more month, I know I'm pushing it a little bit here, but I mean, if you could consider that, I would be really appreciated. Like, I mean, if I could just get like a cushion, because I'm just coming back August 14.
All right, I'm going to grant that. I'm going to give him the 91 days, okay? It'll be...
I really appreciate that. I'm really sorry about that.
It's okay, 919, okay?
Thank you
or
so
a fine
much.
of $50 a day. Does he have another case?
I have both of them, yes. Is there fourplexes next to
Let
each
her
other?
call it into the record. It's okay.
Property address 1405 Northeast 4th Court. Owner, Tasharofi Investment, LLC, case number BE 231200132. Notice posted at the property on 5/9/24, posted at 1 East Royal Boulevard, 6/6/24.
This is Building Inspector Andrew Gebbia with the city, presiding on behalf of Building Inspector Preston Mark. Case and address is read. This property was cited for violation under FBC 2020-105.1, work illegally performed without obtaining the required permits. In the following manner, but not limited to, complete home renovation, including windows, doors, framing, drywall, plumbing, electrical, and mechanical. This case was opened on 12/19/2023. Inspection report was mailed on 12/22/23, and the final notice was mailed on 2/29/24. Special magistrate notice was mailed on 5/2/24. We visited this property to investigate the complaint for work being done without permits. During our investigation, we observed that an entire new unit was added to this multi-unit building. We requested to see the permits, but the workers did not understand English very well. The work we documented included a new addition to the existing building, kitchen, bath, windows, AC system, plumbing, and electrical. As a result, a stop work order was issued and posted on the property. See the photos. We have had recent communications with the owner, Sean Tejarafi, who is in the process of getting the required plans drawn and permits pulled. Records show no permits pulled as of yet for this work. The city is requesting the magistrate find that the violations exist and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
Yes, Saita Sharifi. Yes, and so same case with the other one that I have the drawings and the surveys, and I will.
Okay, so I'm going to grant them 91 days, which will be $9.19 or $550 a day. Okay, so that I know you work in tandem since they're next to each other. All right, good luck to you, sir.
It'll be done.
Have a
Thank you
nice
so
summer.
much.
Okay.
Have a great-
Our next case is on page 14, Senior Inspector Jose Saragusti, property address 809 Northwest 15 Terrace. Case number BE 2306-0203. Owner, Nastasia Y. Pemberton. This case was first heard on 10/19/23 to comply by 1/18/24. One section complied at $50. Total fines $4,000. The city is requesting to reduce fines to administrative costs of $1,221.15.
Jose Saragusti, Building Inspector for the city, presenting case number as read. The case is complied. The city is requesting administrative fees of $1,221.15 dollars.
Morning.
I will let the respondent speak.
Good morning. My name is Natasisha Pemberton. I'm the owner of the property. I inherited the fines from the previous owner. Once I realized that it was illegally constructed, I contacted an architect, engineer. They dropped the drawings. I submitted it to the building department, but it took the building department an extended period of time to get the permit. So I'm asking for leniency to waive the fees.
Well, we did waive, the city's waiving the $4,000. They're just asking for court costs.
Okay, could you give me half of that? Like, I had to pay for the permit, I had to pay for the architect, engineer's drawings.
How much did you spend?
I spent $10,000 for the drawings, $5,000 to the city.
Okay, so you bought this property, had a lien on it, is what happened? Did it have a lien on it?
No, it had a violation on it.
Okay, so you weren't aware of it?
I wasn't aware of it, so I inherited that. So I had to contact an architect, engineer, and they charged me $10,000 to do the drawings. Then I had to pay all the fees to the city.
Okay, I have no problem. Does the city have any objection? I'm going to reduce it to 50% of the administrative cost.
Sorry, I didn't.
I'm going to reduce her administrative cost by 50% because she did incur $15,000 in charges. So yes, it'll be $611. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
You're welcome.
Our next case is on page 4, Senior Inspector Alexander Alvarez, property address 4008 Northeast 21st Ave. Owner Racine Karasingh and David Ocon, case number BE 24010078. Notice posted at property on 5/30/24, posted at 1 East Broad Boulevard, 6624.
Okay.
Alexander Alvarez, Building Inspector for the city, presenting case number and address as read. I visited this property to follow up on a complaint received. Upon arrival, I observed workers replacing fascia. After I identified myself, I asked to speak to the owner or contractor. While waiting for the owner, the garage door was open and I observed sheets of drywall, joint compounds, boards, mortar, and other construction materials. The person who came out to speak with me identified himself as the owner, Mr. David Ogon. Owner stated that he recently purchased the property. Owner also stated that house was not being occupied. Owner also stated that some drywall was installed and that him and his wife were trying to decide on some items like kitchen hood, location, etc. Owner appeared to be a little confused in regards to permit requirements for ongoing interior work. I informed the owner that I was willing to go over the details of the interior work that was being performed. However, access was not granted. Stop work order was issued. The property was cited for violation of Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1, work without permits, including but not limited to interior alteration, kitchen replacement, drywall installation, exterior fascia replacement. Case was created January 16, 2024. Final notice mailed February 22nd, 2024. As of yesterday, June 19, 2024, records show no permit application. City is requesting for the magistrate to find violation exists and grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day thereafter. City is also requesting final order to be recorded.
63 days, that what you said?
63-day extension to come into compliance or fine of $50 per day.
Okay, thank
The
you.
respondent is here to speak.
Yes, so you received a letter from the engineer on June 11th.
Please state your name for the
Oh,
record.
sorry, my name is David Okan, I'm the owner of the property.
Okay, so the city is seeking 63 days for you to get a compliance. Is that something that,
So, like I said, on June 11th, an engineer reached out to Mr. Alvarez they're gonna do a full set of master plans. They said it should be done by the end of the month, so I think the 63 days should be enough. In the event that there's revisions that have to be done and submitted, can I come back and request an extension if there's like a revisionary process that needs to be done, or if once the plans are submitted within the 63 days?
Let me just say this, if I may. So I met with you, right, the day of the initial inspection?
with me one
Okay.
time.
You do remember the stop work order that was issued?
Correct.
Okay. When I was out there doing the posting, there was a gentleman, I put it in my result comment, I was doing a posting, visited the property to do notice of a hearing. While I was at the property, I was approached by a worker who identified himself as Mariano. I identified myself, informed the worker that I was doing a posting. I also informed the worker that there is a stop work order in effect at this property. Worker stated that he was doing drywall finish in one bathroom. Worker stated that bathroom has green board, door rock, etc. I informed him that no work should continue on the house until the required permits are
When was it?
issued, if I may. Okay? For the record, I would like to take this opportunity to remind you, okay, that there's a stop work order in effect. Any unlawful continuance is a violation of Florida Building Code, Broward County Amendment, Chapter Section 115.3. Okay? Make sure that all work stop. Also, we never have, you mentioned about the review process, okay? And we will work with you as much as we can, but I will also like to remind you that when you submit the construction document, make sure they are accurate. The review process, it's in part going to be determined by your design professional, what he's presenting to us. If there's comments, obviously that's going to take longer, okay? There's, I think, over 50 photos of what the property looked like when you bought it. Any changes needs to be reflected on those plans, or it will become comments,
Right.
taking more time to be approved, correct?
So they're doing it from the microfilm level, so they're going to be extremely detailed. That's why I'm saying it's going to be done within the 63 days, but there may be back and forth. I don't know. It's my first time.
Does it help
doing this.
you if we do if the city supports 90 days?
I think maybe he'll need additional time. Okay, so I'm going to give you the 91 days, which will be September 19th, or a fine of $50 a day, okay?
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 2, Senior Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 720 Isle of Palms Drive, owner Lisa M. Quarterman, case number BE 231104141, notice posted at the property on 5/18/24, posted at Waynesboro Boulevard 6624. This is a new business case.
Building inspector representing the city, case and address as read. Comparing the pictures that I took from the rear of the property, which I never had access to it. I just went to the other side of the canal and I was able to take some pictures. Of the rear of the property with the BCPA pictures, being in Broward County appraisal, I came to the conclusion that the shed metal structure located in the rear of the property was built without permits. I observed there is a ceiling fan installed on that shed structure. The property was cited for work without permit on the Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1. This case was opened on November 22nd of 2024. The violation was found and the inspection report was mailed to the property owner on December of 2023. The final notice was mailed to the property owner on March 13 of 2024. The notice of hearing was posted at the property on May 18 of 2024. There is a permit application that has a zoning correction. We're asking your owner to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 63 days to obtain the permit or remove the structure, or fines of $50 per day thereafter. And the order to be recorded.
Hi, Lisa Quarterman, property owner. And yes, Mr. Martinez and I have been in communication, and he's allowing me the 61 days because we're going through the variance process right now. We did apply for the permit in December, back in December, and now we just have to go through the variance.
Okay, so you'll be able to do that within 63 days?
I think so, because we're trying to get on the calendar next month, I believe. There's a meeting in July, I believe, that we're trying to get on that calendar.
Okay, all right,
So
then I'm going to
hopefully.
grant that. It'll be a August 22nd compliance date, or $50 a day. All right, so good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, sir, are you here for a specific case? Which case?
To her?
He's a complainant.
Oh, for her, for the case that we just heard?
Yes.
Oh,
all
okay,
right, go ahead.
Mrs. Quarterman mentioned that there is a permit been applied for.
Yeah, there is a permit application submitted to the city, and it has a zoning correction. That's why it hasn't been approved. It hasn't been issued.
Was it applied for by,
I don't have the details in front of me, but I know that there is a permit.
well, there's a number of things that are concerning me. One is the fact that I don't believe there's anything about the structure that is in compliance.
That would be determined by the reviewers. That's why there is a correction pending on zoning. And that's why, she's trying to proceed to get on a variance to see if the city approve it.
I went to the city to see if there was a permit applied for, and it wasn't any sort of application that I have been familiar with. But in any event, in that process at the city, I was given a survey from the city. And on the survey, it shows that the side yard is 6 feet, and that the rear yard.
That's been handled by zoning. That's why the permit hasn't been issued.
Right.
It's been handled by zoning. That's
Okay.
why there is a zoning
All
correction.
right, so the fact is that this permit has been applied for. Is it
They have a permit applied for. Yes, it is.
Is it in conformance with the city? As far as the permit application and
The permit application is in process and it has a zoning correction. That's why it hasn't been issued. That's why she's applying for a variance. You understand?
I understand perfectly.
Okay.
I don't know, though.
So when she applies for a variance, then obviously I think there's a certain amount of homeowners that have to either, they can't object or agree to agree or disagree, and based on the numbers, they will either
Let
grant
the
it.
record reflect, I don't think this building complies. I mean, it's
Sir,
my
you are
understanding-
correct. You are correct. It does not comply.
It's my
And she's-
understanding that when you build a structure and you live on the water, there's a 10-foot setback from the rear property line. This particular structure is built exactly on the property.
We are aware of that.
So that's why she's asking for the variance.
So either she'll get it or she won't, but your
Is it-
complaint
is
needs
it-
to be, it's public information. No, it's
Yes,
public
public.
information. So, sir, if you have an objection, I think it's going to have to be with the zoning committee, right, with zoning, because they're the ones who would give the
All
variance.
right, what's the procedure in doing that?
That's not
I don't
us.
know, it's not within my jurisdiction. I'm only here with this violation.
Okay. I won't take any more time. Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Have a nice day, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Your Honor, at this time, this concludes all our respondents, so we're going to
2175 West State Road 84. Owner Falls at Marina Bay LP. Senior Inspector Alexander Boris. Case number BE 2312-0105. Notice posted at the property on 5/30/24. Posted at 1 East Broad Boulevard, 6624.
Alexander Alvarez, Building Inspector for the city, presenting case number and address as read. The property was cited for violation of FPC 2020, Section 105.1, work without permit, including but not limited to AC changeout to multiple units, including but not limited to Building 2610, Units 501, 505, 205, 309, and 105. This case was open on 12/15/2023. Inspection report mailed to the property owner. Final notice mailed to the property owner February 12, 2024. Record shows permit application MEC-GEN-2406-0080 for mechanical HVAC changeout was applied on June 6, 2024. Record also show that permit application status is awaiting client reply as of 6/17/2024. City is requesting for magistrate to find a violation exists, grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day thereafter. City is also requesting for the final order to be recorded.
So ordered.
Property address 2628 Southeast 21st Street, case number BE 23110065. Owner Andre Shelistov. Notice posted at the property on 5/30/24. Posted at 1 East, Broward Boulevard, 6624.
Alexander Alvarez, Building Inspector for the city, presenting case number and address as read. The property was cited for violation of Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1, work without permit, including but not limited to interior alteration, kitchen renovation and appliance relocation, bathroom renovation, including wall covering, plumbing, and electrical. This case was opened on November 8, 2023. Inspection report mailed to the property owner on November 9, 2023. Final notice mailed February 22nd, 2024. Record show permit application BLD-RALT-2312-0049 for after-the-fact kitchen and bathroom model was applied for on December 14, 2023. Record also shows permit application status is currently awaiting client's reply as of May 21st, 2024. City is requesting for the magistrate to find a violation exists and grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day thereafter. City is also requesting for the final order to be recorded.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Moving on to page 5. Inspector Andrew Gebbia. Property address 825 Northeast 18th Street. Owner Edward Baptista. Case number BE 231000227. Notice posted at the property on 5/22/24. Posted at 1 East Broward Boulevard, 6624.
Andrew Gebbia, Building Inspector for the city, presenting case and address as read. This property was cited for the violation under 9-1D, work illegally performed, without obtaining the required permits in the following manner, but not limited to installation of new wood fence. This case was opened on 10/29/23. Inspection report was mailed on 3/8/24. Final notice on 4/9/2024. And special magistrate notice on 5/14/24. I arrived at the property, observed a new wood fence with a gate installed in front of the property and around the pool. I checked the records for permits and found that there were no permits on file for the work performed. The city is requesting the magistrate to find that the violations exist and grant the property owner 42 days to come into compliance, or $50 a day thereafter.
So ordered.
Property address 1222 Northwest 4th Ave. Owner Lisa Newbold. Case number BE 24020158. Notice posted at the property on 5/22/24. Posted at 1 East Broad Boulevard, 6624.
Andrew Gebbia, Building Inspector for the city, presenting case and address as read. This property was cited for violation under 9-1D, work illegally performed without obtaining the required permits, in the following manner but not limited to: installation of new wood fence. This case was opened on 2/23/2024. Inspection report was mailed on 2/23/2024. Final notice on 3/27/2024, and special magistrate notice on 5/9/2024. I arrived at the property. I observed a new fence with a gate installed on the property. I checked for records and found that there were no permits on file for the work performed. The city is requesting the magistrate to find that the violations exist and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance or $50 thereafter.
Okay, so ordered.
Property address 1693 Lauderdale Manor Drive, owner Sikter Court, case number BE 240-30022. Notice posted at the property on 5/22/24, posted at 1 East Broward Boulevard, 6624.
Andrew Gebbia, building inspector for the city, presenting case and address as read. This property was cited for violation under 9-1D, work illegally performed without obtaining the required permits, in the following manner, but not limited to installation of new wood fence, board on board. This case was opened on 3/5/2024. The inspection report was mailed on 3/6/2024, and the final notice was mailed on 4/9/2024, and special magistrate notice on 5/14/2024. I arrived at the property. I observed the new wood fence with a gate installed in front of the property and down the side of the property. I checked records for permits and found that there were no permits on file for the work performed. The city is requesting the magistrate to find that the violations exist and to grant the property owner 42 days to come in compliance or $50 a day thereafter.
So ordered.
Moving on to page 6, at the top, property address 440 Northwest 6th Street, owner Broward County Longshoremen's Association, Inc., case number BE 23010152. Notice posted at the property on 5/31/24, posted at 1 East Broward Boulevard, 6624.
Inspector Martinez, on behalf of the city, presenting case as read. There are building parts which are deteriorated and not maintained. The soffit and the fascia of this building collapsed and has not been replaced. The steel framing is exposed. The city will request 63 days to comply or a fine of $50 a day thereafter.
So ordered.
At the top, property address 2217 Northwest 20th Street, owner Louise Murray, case number CE 23020715. Notice posted at the property on 5/31/24, posted at 1 East Broward Boulevard, 6624.
Inspector Martinez, on behalf of the city, presenting case as read. This building is vacant and open to casual entry due to deterioration, due to door missing or not locked or windows missing or broken. There's no electricity or water service. The building in its present condition does not meet the criteria of the Florida Building Code for minimum maintenance standard and the Fort Lauderdale Minimum Housing Code for human occupancy, and it must be repaired by the owner or demolished. The city is requesting the following: that in the next 60 days, the owner applies for the required permits to bring the property into compliance with signed and sealed submittal documents from a licensed design professional, including an accurate itemized cost to restore the structure to meet standard for human occupancy and to meet minimum housing standards, or apply for a demolition permit to demolish the unsafe, unhabitable structure, including all accessory structures on the parcel. In the event the owner does not apply for the permits and move forward with the rehabilitation or demolition of the property, the city will move forward with the demolition, including all accessory structures on the parcel, at owner's expense, and may lien the property to recover the demolition cost.
How many days?
60.
60? Okay.
Not 63?
63.
63 days. Okay, so ordered. 63 days.
Our next case is on page 10, property address 2008 Southwest 15th Ave, owner Yvette Lopez, case number BE 231-00210. Notice posted at the property, building inspector Andrew Gebbia, presented on behalf of Preston Mark. Notice posted at the property on 5/30/24, posted at 1 East Broward Boulevard, 6624.
Building Inspector Andrew Gavia for the city, presenting on behalf of Preston Mark. Case and address is read. There are expired permits related to this property as stated in today's agenda. This case is not complied. The city is requesting 42 days to comply or $50 a day thereafter.
So ordered.
At the bottom of page 10, property address 5591 Northeast 29th Ave, case number BE 231-00122. Owner Marco Becerra, Pedro Robles, and Pedro Venturo. Notice posted at the property on 5924, posted at 1 East Boulevard, 6624.
Building Inspector Andrew Gavia with the city, presenting on behalf of Building Inspector Preston Mark. Case and address is read. This property was cited for violation under FBC 2020-105.1, work illegally performed without obtaining required permits in the following manner but not limited to: complete home renovation, including windows and doors, framing, drywall, plumbing, electrical, and mechanical. This case was opened on 10/12/2023. The inspection report was mailed on 10/12/2023. Final notice mailed on 12/01/2023, and special magistrate notice was mailed on 4/16/2024. While inspecting another property, we observed workers installing cabinets at the above address. We requested to see the permit, but none were available. We spoke with Mario, the carpenter, who granted me access to the home. We observed that the windows were new and the kitchen and bathroom were recently remodeled. The pool and pool deck were also being worked on as well. Checked our records and found that no permits for this work. See photos. We thereafter spoke with Giovanni, he's a GC, with Abbott Construction, who indicated that he recently took over the job and will pull all required permits. At present, our records show that they have completed the window and door permit and are currently awaiting corrections for the interior remodel permits. City is requesting the magistrate to find that the violations exist and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance or $50 a day thereafter.
So ordered.
Our next case is on page 11, hearing to impose fines. Property address 2416 North Atlantic Boulevard. Owner Daniel Michael Hurt, case number BE 2303-0140. This case was first heard on 8/17/23 to comply by 10/19/23. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose fines of $9,100, which continues to accrue.
So ordered.
Moving on to page 15, property address 741 Northeast 19th Ave, owner Second Layer Equity LLC, case number BE 2306-0028. This case was first heard on 9/21/23 to comply by 12/21/23. Fine suspended as noted. One section complied at $50. Total fine $6,200. The city is requesting to reduce to administrative costs of $1,275.
So ordered.
Property address 300 West Sunrise Boulevard, case number BE 2308-0230. Owner Dale's Properties, 300 West Sunrise LLC. This case was first heard on 2/15/24 to comply by 3/28/24. One section complied at $100. Total fines $1,900. The city is requesting to reduce to administrative costs of $575.
So ordered.
Page 16, property address 817 Northwest 5th Ave. Owner Marlene Thomas Revocable Trust. Marlene Thomas Trustee, case number BE 2301-0170. This case was first heard on 5/18/23 to comply by 11/14/23. One section complied at $100. Total fine $16,000. The city is requesting to vacate order imposing fine on 4/18/24 and reimpose fines to administrative costs of $1,275.
So ordered.
Page 17 at the bottom, case number BE 2307-0390. Property address 1100 West Commercial Boulevard. Owner Universal Property and Casualty Insurance Company. This case was first heard on 1/18/24 to comply by 2/29/24. Fine suspended as noted. One section complied at $100. This case was ordered to reappear, and they're not here. We're still reducing the fines? Okay. Total fines, $8,300. The city is requesting to reduce to administrative costs of $1,275.
So ordered.
Page 18 at the top, property address BE 230703334. No, I'm sorry, that's the case number. Property address 1110 West Commercial Boulevard, owner Universal Property and Casualty Insurance Company. This case was first heard on 1/18/24 to comply by 2/29/24. Fine suspended as noted. One section complied at $100. Total fines $8,300. The city is requested to reduce the administrative cost of $1,275.
So ordered.
Property address 1400 Northwest 65th Place, case number BE 23070108, owner Colt South Florida owner LP, in care of Equus Capital Partners LTD. This case was first heard on 1/18/24 to comply by 2/29/24. One section complied at $100. Total fines $9,600. The city is requesting to reduce to administrative costs of $1,275.
So ordered.
Page 19, property address 1750 Northwest 3rd Terrace, case number BE 221-20066, owner Hidden Harbor Condo Association, Inc. This case was first heard on 1/19/23 to comply by 7/18/23. One section complied at $100. Total fines $27,500. The city is requesting to reduce the administrative cost of $1,275.
So ordered.
Page 20, property address 5331 Northwest 35th Terrace, owner Suntory Water Group, Inc., DBA Crystal Springs, case number BE 230800045. This case was first heard on 1/18/24 to comply by 2/29/24. One section not complied at $100. The city is requesting to impose fines of $11,100, which continues to accrue.
So ordered.
Property address 5341 Northwest 33rd Ave, owner Universal Property and Casualty Company, case number BE 230800027. This case was ordered to reappear. This case was first heard on 1/18/24 to comply by 2/29/24. Fines suspended as noted. One section complied at $100. Total fines $8,300. The city is requesting to reduce the administrative cost of $1,275.
So ordered.
Page 21, Senior Inspector Alejandro Del Rio. Alejandro's old business. Are you coming for this one? Okay. Property address 600 Southwest 9th Street, 1-5. Owner, Buy Rent Sell Now LLC, case number BE 230600046. This case was first heard on 4/18/24 to comply by 6/20/24. One section not complied at $50, and this case was ordered to reappear.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, updating case as read. Case is not in compliance. City does not support any further extensions. City is requesting the case to come back as a mass in the next hearing.
Okay, so ordered.
At the bottom of page 21, Building Inspector Andrew Gebbia, case number BE 24020203, property address 803 Northeast 4th Ave. Owner, Brigada International Service LLC. This case was first heard on 4/18/24 to comply by 6/20/24. One section not complied at $250. The city is requesting a 42-day extension.
Building Inspector Andrew Gebbia for the city, presenting on behalf of Preston Mark. Case and address is read. There are expired permits related to this property as stated in today's agenda. This case is not complied. We recently spoke with owner and contractor who indicated that they are in the process of responding to the plan reviewer's corrections, and hopefully the permits will be issued shortly. The city will support 42-day extension and fines be stayed.
All right, I'll grant the extension and the fines to be stayed.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, at this time, we would like all of the cases that are listed on page 23 to be entered into the record as closed or withdrawn.
So ordered.
Thank you. This concludes our June 20th, 2024 Special Magistrate hearing for the Building Division.